All right, let's talk about one of life's biggest and sometimes most confusing mysteries. That whole electrifying butterflies in your stomach feeling of having a crush. Today, we're going to try and crack the code together.
I mean, this is the question, right? It can drive you absolutely crazy. You're replaying every little conversation, analyzing every text message. But what if the real answers aren't in what they're saying? What if it's all in what they're not saying?
And this is exactly why we have to pay attention. People might not just come out and say how they feel. Love has this kind of secret, subconscious language. It's all about the small gestures, those little glances, and body language. So let's get fluent in reading those signs.
Okay, so our very first clue, it's all in the eyes. Seriously, where someone looks can tell you so much about what they actually want. If you catch your crush's gaze locked on you pretty often, that's a huge signal.
And get this, science actually backs this up. That old saying about the eyes being the windows to the soul, it's not just poetry. A 2014 study found that our eyes literally give away our honest intentions. We just can't help it. We unconsciously stare at the things we want. And that definitely includes the person we're crushing on.
All right, moving on to sign number 2. This one goes beyond just the eyes. It's about how their whole body is aimed at you. I mean, have you ever noticed how your own posture just totally changes depending on who you're with? Well, attraction literally pulls you closer. Just think about it for a second. When you're chilling with your friends, you're probably leaning back, all relaxed. But when you're around someone you really like, your body just kind of springs forward. Leaning in is a totally subconscious way of saying, hey, I'm into this, I care about what you have to say, their opinions matter. So our third sign moves from the physical to the emotional. And trust me, this is a big one. It's all about being open. When someone genuinely likes you, they start to let their guard down a little. We all build up these giant walls to protect ourselves, right? But when you're around someone you trust, someone you're attracted to, those walls can start to come crumbling down. Actually, a study from way back in 1997 found that this exact act of being vulnerable is what helps love grow. The key here, though, is that it really has to go both ways to build that super deep connection.
Okay, sign number 4 might sound super obvious, but hang on, there's a little more to it. See, not all smiles mean the same thing. We are talking about a very specific kind of smile here, the one that's totally genuine. According to a research summary from 2018, a real genuine smile is more than just a sign of happiness. When it comes to attraction, it's this powerful little signal of trust and, vulnerability again. So if your crush is always beaming at you, it's probably because on some level they feel really close and comfortable with you. And that feeling of being comfortable, that brings us right back to body language for sign number 5, an open posture. When you like someone, your body just instinctively sends out an invitation. An open posture is basically a nonverbal way of saying, hey, I'm open to you. So here's what to look for. Do their arms fall away from their chest? Do their legs uncross when you're around? Does their back straighten up? These little adjustments are really powerful signals that help build both a physical and an emotional bond. Sign number 6 brings us back to the eyes again, but this time it's way more direct. We're not just talking about looking at you, we're talking about making and holding eye contact. And this is where some really cool brain chemistry kicks in. So when you look into your crush's eyes, your brain starts releasing oxytocin, which people call the love hormone. It's the same chemical that helps parents bond with their babies. It's all about feeling trust and closeness. And that amazing feeling of connection just makes you want to make more eye contact. It's like this incredible feedback loop. The takeaway is pretty simple. If they hold your gaze, there's a really good chance the feeling is mutual. All right, on to sign number 7. This is where things can get, a little electrifying. We're talking about those small, oops, did I just do that kind of touches that are, let's be honest, probably not an accident at all. You know the moment I'm talking about, that light brush on the arm as you pass by, or their leg gently resting against yours. Those little touches trigger a whole flood of feel-good hormones. It's a really powerful, almost primal way to test the waters and show they're interested. So next time it happens, just remember, it might be a very intentional message. Okay, so for sign number 8, we're shifting gears a little bit, away from the subconscious stuff to some very conscious choices. It's simple, but it's incredibly meaningful. They make time for you. I mean, our time is the most valuable thing we have, isn't it? So when someone consistently makes room in their busy schedule for you, that's a huge deal. A 2010 study even suggests that making that effort,
Getting over those roadblocks like time and distance is a pretty solid sign that a relationship has real potential.
Now for a super fascinating psychological quirk. Sign number 9 is all about something called mirroring. Have you ever been talking to someone and it feels like you're talking to, well, a reflection of yourself?
Yeah, that's called mirroring, and it's something we do totally unconsciously when we like someone. You might notice that if you smile, they smile right back. You take a drink of water, and suddenly they're thirsty too. You cross your arms, and a second later, they do the same thing. It's their brain's secret way of trying to build a connection with you.
And finally, we are at sign number 10, and it's this idea called investment. Now, don't worry, this has nothing to do with money. It's all about creating a tiny little bond by lending an item, which ends up being a really powerful signal of romantic interest. So here's how it works. They lend you something really simple, maybe a jacket, a book, or even just a pencil. That little thing now creates a reason for the two of you to interact again, right? It forms a bond. That small investment is their way of saying, hey, I trust you, and I definitely want to see you again. It's a surprisingly strong signal. Okay, now before we wrap this up, listen, because this part is super important. Seeing just one of these signs by itself might not mean anything. I mean, someone could just be a naturally smiley person, or maybe they lean in when they talk to everybody. The real key here is to look for a pattern, a combination of these signs. The more of them you see, the more likely it is your crush really does like you back. And that leaves us with one last thing to think about. We've spent all this time trying to figure out someone else's behavior, but what about your own? What kind of hidden signals have you been sending out without even realizing it? Something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.